What if the exact moment you get everything you ever wanted is the moment you realize you have nothing at all? Have you ever noticed that strange, hollow feeling? You climbed the mountain, you checked the boxes, you did exactly what society, your family, or your own ambition told you to do. And yet, sitting at the top, looking out at the life you built, there is a quiet, terrifying whisper in your mind. Is this it? If you have ever felt completely lost after finally arriving where you were supposed to be, this is for you. Stay until the end, because the final lesson may change the way you see this emptiness forever. You spent years chasing a destination. Maybe it was a career, a degree, a financial milestone, or a lifestyle you were certain would finally bring you peace. You pushed through exhaustion. You sacrificed your time, your energy, and often your quiet moments. You convinced yourself that once you crossed that invisible finish line, you would finally feel whole, safe, and fulfilled. But now, the applause has faded. The goal has been crossed off the list, and instead of lasting joy, you feel numb, confused, and deeply drained. You are wearing a life that looks perfect on the outside, but inside, it feels like a heavy coat that no longer fits. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that suffering does not merely come from failing to get what we want. Often, our deepest suffering comes from grasping tightly to the illusion of what an achievement was supposed to give us. We attach our inner peace to external conditions. We believe that a title, a position, or a victory will grant us permanent happiness. But Buddhism reminds us of the profound truth of impermanence. Every goal is just a passing moment in time. When we demand that a fleeting moment provide eternal fulfillment, we trap ourselves in sorrow. Imagine a traveler who spends years building a heavy wooden boat to cross a wide, turbulent river. He works tirelessly, believing that once he reaches the other shore, all his struggles will vanish. Finally, he crosses the rough water. He steps onto the beautiful new land. But instead of walking freely into the forest, he picks up the massive, heavy boat and tries to carry it on his back wherever he goes. He cannot let go of the thing he worked so hard to build, even though it is now crushing him under its weight. Think about your own life. How many heavy boats are you still carrying on dry land? How many roles, expectations, or past ambitions did you work so hard to achieve, only to realize they are weighing down the person you are today? Ask yourself, are you still forcing yourself to live a certain way simply because you spent a long time building it? What are you truly afraid will happen if you set that heavy boat down? Pause, breathe. Observe this feeling of emptiness without rushing to fix it. Do not immediately distract yourself with a new goal or another mountain to climb. Let the feeling rise without making it your identity. You are allowed to outgrow the life you fought so hard to build. You are allowed to admit that the summit is empty, because peace is not found in the trophies you collect. It is found in the courage to let go of what no longer serves your spirit. But acknowledging the emptiness of the summit is only the first step. The true weight you are carrying is not just the goal itself, but the mask you wear to maintain it. And this is where the next truth begins, because beneath every forced life is a performance waiting to be stopped. 2. The weight of the performance. What if the most exhausting work you do each day is simply pretending to be the person everyone expects you to be? Here is the truth few people want to face. The heaviest burden we carry in this life is not our responsibilities, but our masks. You wake up every morning and put on a character. The successful professional, the perfect partner, the reliable one who always has everything under control. You maintain the smile, say the right words, and play the role flawlessly. People applaud your dedication. They admire the life you have carefully curated. But inside, you are spiritually exhausted. You say yes when your soul whispers no. You push down the deep intuition that tells you this life no longer fits, just to keep the peace. You are terrified that if you drop the act, if you stop performing this life that you worked so hard to build, you will lose everything. You are trapped in a cage made entirely of other people's expectations. Buddhist wisdom teaches us about the illusion of the self. From a young age, we construct an identity, a rigid sense of who I am and what I must do to be valued. We cling to this image because it feels safe. We believe it is what makes us worthy of love and respect. But in Buddhist thought, suffering arises when we mistake this temporary, constructed image for our true nature. We spend our precious energy guarding an illusion. We defend a statue that is not real. True freedom begins with non-attachment, not just letting go of material things, but letting go of the false identities we have built to please the world. Imagine wearing a beautiful, heavy suit of armor. You put it on long ago to survive a difficult battle. It protected you. It made you look strong and invincible. But the war ended years ago, and now you are still wearing it. You are trying to sleep in it. You are trying to walk, eat, and breathe while wearing thick, heavy steel. You wonder why you are always tired, always aching, while others walk so freely. The armor is no longer protecting you, it is suffocating you. It is keeping you from feeling the sun on your skin and the breeze in the air. This is what happens when we refuse to let go of a past version of success. We stay in careers that drain our souls because the title sounds impressive to strangers. We stay in the grinding rush because society rewards busyness. We silence our own inner voice because speaking the truth might disrupt the comfortable image we project to our families or our peers. We are wearing heavy armor in a quiet, safe room, terrified to be vulnerable. Ask yourself, whose life are you actually living? When you strip away the titles, the praise, and the obligations, what is left? What are you truly afraid will happen if you simply let the armor fall to the ground? Pause, breathe, feel the physical weight you are holding in your shoulders, in your jaw, in your chest. You do not have to hold it all together today. Let the expectation go, just for a single moment. Stop trying to protect an image that is already too heavy to carry. You do not owe the world a performance, because pretending to be someone you have outgrown is the fastest way to lose your spirit. True peace arrives when you are finally brave enough to let the false self crumble. But dropping the mask requires facing a deeply uncomfortable truth about where we are actually going. And this is where the next truth begins. Because to find yourself, you must first stop chasing a horizon that does not exist. 3. The illusion of the horizon. What if the very act of chasing peace is the exact thing keeping it away from you? Here is a truth that is difficult to swallow. The future you are running toward is a mirage. You have likely lived your entire life in a constant state of next. You tell yourself that when you get the new job, you will finally rest. When your bank account reaches a certain number, you will feel secure. When you reach the next milestone, you will finally allow yourself to be happy. You have already achieved the goals you set for yourself years ago. But instead of resting in that victory, you immediately drew a new finish line further in the distance. You are postponing your life. You are living in a hypothetical tomorrow, while completely missing the reality of today. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that suffering thrives in the gap between where we are and where we demand to be. We become deeply attached to the illusion of the future. We treat the present moment as an obstacle to overcome, a waiting room we must simply endure until the real life begins. But Buddhism reminds us that the present moment is the only place where life actually exists. When we bind our inner peace to a future event, we condemn ourselves to a lifetime of endless dissatisfaction. Imagine walking across a vast, beautiful plain. You look ahead and see the horizon in the distance, a perfect, solid line, where the bright sky touches the earth. You convince yourself that true peace lives exactly on that line. So you begin to walk. You walk past fields of tall grass. You walk alongside clear rivers. You feel the gentle warmth of the sun on your face. But you do not stop to enjoy any of it. You keep your eyes rigidly fixed on the horizon, walking faster and faster, exhausted and breathless. But no matter how far you travel, the horizon always moves further away. It was never a real destination. It was only an illusion created by your distance. This is how we treat our modern lives. We hustle for the next promotion. We obsess over the next life stage. We ignore the quiet beauty of a normal Tuesday because our minds are consumed by anxieties about 5 years from now. We sacrifice our health, our relationships, and our present joy to feed a tomorrow that will never arrive exactly as we planned it. We keep waiting for the day when all our problems are solved so we can finally start living. Think about your own life. Ask yourself, how long have you been telling yourself that you will finally be happy when? What beautiful things are you completely ignoring right now because you are too busy staring at a horizon that keeps moving? Pause. Breathe. Bring your mind back into the room you are in. Let go of the need to be anywhere other than here. You do not need to arrive at some distant future to be worthy of rest. Stop running toward a finish line that does not exist. Because peace is not a place you finally reach. It is a presence you make space for right now. But letting go of this endless chase means stepping off the path everyone else is still running on. And this is where the next truth begins. Because reclaiming your true self requires the willingness to let others be disappointed. 4. The courage to disappoint. What if the price of finding your own peace is that someone else might be disappointed? Here is a truth that is incredibly hard to accept. You cannot walk your true path while carrying everyone else's expectations. You have likely lived a great portion of your life, making sure no one was let down. You shaped your ambitions, your choices, and your personality to fit into the molds created by your parents, your peers, or society. You achieved the grand goals because they applauded for it. But now, the performance is ending. You want to stop. You want to lay the heavy burden down. Yet, the fear of the look on their faces keeps you trapped. The guilt of letting them down feels much heavier than the exhaustion of living a lie. Buddhist wisdom teaches us about the deep trap of attachment to external approval. We seek validation outside of ourselves because we fear the quiet stillness within. We become deeply attached to praise and terrified of criticism. But in Buddhist thought, the opinions of others are like the wind, constantly changing, entirely unpredictable, and completely out of our control. When we build the foundation of our lives on the shifting winds of other people's approval, we will always feel unstable. Letting go means releasing the impossible desire to control how the world perceives you. Imagine a bird that has lived its entire life inside a beautifully gilded cage. The cage is comfortable. The owner feeds the bird, admires its feathers, and expects it to sing the exact same song every single morning. One day, the door of the cage is left completely open. The bird looks out at the vast, limitless sky. It feels the wind on its wings, but it hesitates. It knows that if it flies away, the owner will be upset. The owner will miss the song. So, despite having wings meant for the high clouds, the bird stays inside the open cage. It sacrifices its own freedom just to keep someone else comfortable. This is how we live when we refuse to walk away from a successful but empty life. We stay in the prestigious career that is draining our spirit because our family is proud of the title. We maintain relationships and obligations that feel entirely hollow because we are afraid of being called selfish. We keep playing a character we have completely outgrown, terrified that if we speak our truth, we will lose the love. of those around us. We trade our own freedom to manage other people's emotions. Think about your own life. Who are you truly living for? What are you afraid they will say if you finally put the heavy mask down? Ask yourself, is their temporary disappointment worse than a lifetime of your own quiet suffering? Pause, breathe. Let the fear of judgment rise, but do not obey it. Observe the guilt without letting it make your decisions. You do not have to manage how everyone else feels about your choices. You are allowed to walk away from a room that no longer fits you, even if they do not understand why you left. Because peace is not found in endless applause. It is found in the quiet, self-respect of living truly. But stepping out of the open cage means leaving behind the comfortable structures you once knew. And this is where the next truth begins. Because to grow into who you are meant to be, you must first allow the old version of yourself to gently fall away. 5. Shedding the dead leaves. What if holding on to the person you used to be is exactly what is keeping you from becoming who you are meant to be? Here is a difficult truth. Growth often feels a lot like losing something. You have spent years building an identity around your achievements. You became the person who gets things done, the person who reaches the finish line, the person who never quits. That identity kept you safe. It gave you direction. But now, the goals you once cherished feel empty. The passion you once had has completely dried up. Yet, you refuse to let go. You keep pushing forward, pretending you still care, because you do not know who you are without the struggle. Walking away from a successful past feels like a failure. It feels like giving up. Buddhist wisdom teaches us the profound reality of impermanence. Nothing in the universe remains exactly as it is, and that includes you. Your desires, your dreams, and your spirit are constantly changing. Suffering arises when we resist this natural change. We try to freeze time. We try to preserve a version of ourselves that no longer exists, out of a deep attachment to the familiar. But in Buddhist thought, holding on to a past identity is like trying to hold on to the wind. Letting go is not destroying yourself. It is simply making room for the truth of who you are today. Imagine a great, ancient tree standing in the late days of autumn. Its leaves have turned brown, dry, and brittle. The season has clearly passed, but instead of letting the wind take them, the tree tightly grips every single dead leaf. It is terrified of standing bare in the cold winter. It spends all of its remaining energy trying to keep the lifeless leaves attached to its branches. In doing so, it weakens itself deeply. And worse, because its branches are completely full of dead weight, there is absolutely no space for new, green buds to bloom when the spring finally arrives. This is exactly what we do with our lives. We grip tightly to careers we silently hate, simply because we spent a decade studying for them. We hold on to outdated definitions of success, the promotion, the busy schedule, the perfect image, even though they now feel dry and brittle in our hands. We force ourselves to keep walking a path we have outgrown because we are terrified of the empty branches. We are terrified of the unknown. We think that emptiness means we have failed, when in reality, emptiness just means we have finally created space. Think about your own life. Think about the daily routines, the goals, or the titles you are forcing yourself to maintain. What dry, brittle leaves are you refusing to drop? What old identity are you still clinging to, simply because it feels safe? Are you sacrificing your future energy just to preserve a past that no longer exists? Pause. Breathe. Visualize something you are holding onto right now, out of guilt or pure habit. Feel the tension in your tight grip. Now, imagine simply opening your hand. Let the wind take it. You do not have to force it away. You just have to stop holding on so tightly. Let it fall. because true growth does not always look like addition. Often, it looks like a beautiful, quiet subtraction. But after the leaves fall, there is a period of bareness. There is a deep, uncomfortable stillness. And this is where the next truth begins. Because to truly heal from the exhaustion of your performance, you must first learn to survive the terrifying silence of doing nothing. 6. The silence of doing nothing. What if the most terrifying place on earth is not a dark, unknown forest, but a quiet room with absolutely nothing to do? Here is a truth that makes most of us uncomfortable. We have forgotten how to simply exist. You have spent your life moving. You equated your worth with your momentum. If you were busy, you were important. If you were exhausted, you were successful. But now that the major goals are behind you and the performance has stopped, a deep silence has rushed in. And instead of feeling like a reward, the silence feels like a threat. Without a task to complete, a list to clear, or a crisis to solve, you feel restless. You feel a creeping anxiety. You pick up your phone, you turn on a screen, or you invent a new problem just to avoid the overwhelming discomfort of being entirely still. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that the untrained mind is constantly jumping, desperate for distraction. We become attached to the noise of doing because it allows us to avoid the reality of being. We use busyness as a shield against our own inner suffering. But Buddhism reminds us that peace cannot be manufactured through endless action. True clarity only arrives when we finally stop running and allow ourselves to sit in the center of the quiet. Imagine a beautiful, deep mountain lake. For years, a heavy storm has raged over the water. The wind has whipped the surface into fierce waves, and the constant churning has pulled mud and debris up from the bottom. The water is thick, cloudy, and entirely opaque. You cannot see what lies beneath. If you try to clear the water by furiously splashing and fighting the waves, you only make it muddier. The only way for the lake to become clear is to do the hardest thing of all: nothing. You must simply let the wind die down. You must let the water sit perfectly still. Slowly, gradually, the mud settles to the bottom on its own, until the lake becomes a flawless, quiet mirror, perfectly reflecting the evening sky. This is what happens when we stop our frantic modern lives. We use our schedules, our achievements, and our endless daily rushing as the wind that keeps the water churning. We are terrified of letting the mud settle. We fear that if we sit alone with our thoughts, without the armor of our accomplishments, we will be forced to confront the sadness, the regret, or the emptiness we have been outrunning for years. So, we keep splashing. We keep our lives muddy just so we do not have to look at the deep water. Think about your own life. When was the last time you allowed yourself to sit in total silence without reaching for a distraction? Ask yourself, what are you truly running from when you overbook your days? What feelings are you terrified might surface if you simply let the water calm? Pause. Breathe. Let the stillness surround you, even if it feels uncomfortable. Do not rush to fill the empty space with a new task. Let the mud begin to settle. Stop trying to force the water to be clear through action, because peace is not found in moving faster. It is found in the spawn pieces, courage to remain still. But once the water finally clears, you will be forced to look at what remains. And this is where the next truth begins. Because the person waiting for you in the clarity of that quiet water is someone you have not met in a very long time. 7. Meeting your true self. What if the stranger you have been avoiding all these years is actually you? Here is the truth that is both terrifying and beautiful. Beneath the heavy armor, the exhausting masks, and the relentless achievements, there is a quiet presence waiting to be acknowledged. You have spent so much time being who the world needed you to be that you have completely forgotten who you actually are. When the noise finally stops and the grand goals are gone, there is a profound sense of unfamiliarity. You look at the life you built and do not recognize the spirit living inside it. You feel deeply empty, not because you lack success or possessions, but because you have become disconnected from your own essence. You spent your whole life building a magnificent kingdom, only to leave the throne entirely empty. You know how to be a professional, a provider, or a success story, but you do not know how to simply be yourself. Buddhist wisdom teaches us about our fundamental true nature, the pure, untouched, and ever-present core of who we are. Suffering comes from burying this true nature beneath layers of ego, external titles, and heavy attachments. We start to believe that we are the roles we play. We identify with the passing clouds rather than the vast, open sky. But Buddhism reminds us that no matter how dark or thick the clouds become, the sky is never destroyed. Your true self can never be lost. It can only be temporarily hidden by the life you forced yourself to live. Imagine an ancient, magnificent statue made of solid gold. Centuries ago, to protect the precious gold during a terrible war, caretakers covered the entire statue in a thick layer of hard, grey clay. For hundreds of years, people walked past it, believing it was just a common, heavy clay statue. Over time, even the caretakers forgot about the brilliant gold hidden beneath. Then, one day, the statue is dropped. A large piece of the clay cracks and falls to the ground. A bright, undeniable golden light shines through the rough opening. The clay was never the statue. It was only a temporary protection that eventually needed to break for the true value to be revealed. This is exactly what is happening to you right now. The emptiness you feel after hitting your goals is the clay beginning to break. The identity you used to survive the fierce demands of your career, your family, or your society is finally fracturing, and it feels terrifying. You panic because you think you are falling apart, but you are not breaking, you are uncovering. The prestigious titles, the forced smiles, the endless striving to be perfect, all of it was just clay. It protected you when you needed it, but now it is time to let it fall away. Think about your own life. Ask yourself, who are you when absolutely no one is watching? When you take away the job, the expectations, and the need to perform, what brings you quiet, simple joy? Are you willing to let the protective clay break so that you can finally breathe? Pause. Breathe. Do not rush to patch the cracks. Let the old, heavy identity fall away piece by piece. Allow yourself to feel the strange, beautiful vulnerability of simply being you, without a title to hold you up. Stop trying to repair a mask that you no longer need. Because peace is not found in becoming someone new. It is found in returning to who you always were. But uncovering your true self means you now face a completely different landscape. And this is where the final truth begins. Because standing in the open, unburdened and true, means you must now learn how to walk a path with no map at all. 8. Walking a new path. What if the emptiness you felt at the top of the mountain was never a tragedy, but a profound invitation? You started this journey staring at a life that looked perfect on the outside, yet felt entirely hollow on the inside. You were exhausted from carrying a heavy boat across dry land. You were suffocating beneath the weight of armor you no longer needed. You ran relentlessly toward a horizon that kept moving, terrified of disappointing the world, and terrified of the silence that waited for you when the movement stopped. But now, the performance has ended. The dead leaves have gently fallen, the muddy water has finally settled, and the cracked clay has revealed the quiet, golden truth beneath. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that true liberation is not found in building a perfect, untouchable life, but in releasing our tight grip on how life was supposed to be. The ultimate practice of non-attachment is not giving up on your future. It is giving up your desperate need to control it. When we finally stop clinging to old goals, past identities, and the exhausting need for external validation, we step into the deep, grounded reality of the present moment. We stop performing, and we finally begin to live. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, unmapped forest. For your entire life, you walked on paved roads built by others. There were clear signs, clear milestones, and constant applause when you reached the destinations. But those roads only led you to an empty summit. Now, you must step off the pavement and into the wild, quiet woods. There is no map here. There are no signs telling you exactly what to do next. It is terrifying, yes, but for the first time in your entire life, you are entirely free to choose your own direction. The path is not laid out for you before you arrive. It is created gently, step by step, by the simple act of walking it in truth. This is the beautiful reality of stepping into your authentic life. You no longer have to hustle for your worth. You can wake up without immediately proving your value to a world that will never be completely satisfied. You can sit with yourself in the quiet and feel completely whole. You can leave the heavy boat by the river where it belongs. You can walk away from the open cage without looking back, knowing that you finally have the self-respect to honor your own wings. The emptiness you feared is not a dark void. It is a blank canvas. It is the wide, open space where your genuine spirit can finally breathe. Think about your own life today. The goals you achieved have shaped you, but they absolutely do not have to define your tomorrow. You survived the difficult climb. Now, give yourself permission to simply exist without needing to conquer another peak. Pause, breathe. Let the heavy expectations fall completely to the ground. Trust the quiet stillness. Choose to honor your own inner peace above the relentless noise of a demanding world. You have carried the heavy weight of the performance for so long. It served its purpose, but it is over now. If these lessons touched your heart, share this video with someone who may need a little more peace today. You can let go now.